Have you ever felt lost, like you're just drifting through life with no real purpose? That was me. Not too long ago, I was convinced my life was a dead end. I'd just lost a job I didn't even like, my relationship had fizzled out, and I was spending my nights staring at the ceiling, wondering what the point of it all was. I felt completely alone, convinced that my future was just a long, empty road. I'd walk through the park and see families laughing, couples holding hands, and it felt like a world I'd never be a part of. It was a heavy, suffocating feeling. This sense that I was fundamentally disconnected from the happiness everyone else seemed to find so icily. I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe some people are just meant to be spectators in life, not players. Then, one night, something happened that I still can't fully explain. It was late, and I was doing my usual aimless walk through the city. The kind of walk where you're not really going anywhere. The streets were quiet, slick with rain, reflecting the neon signs in blurry streaks of color. I found myself in a small, forgotten alleyway I'd never noticed before. And that's when I saw it. A light. It wasn't a street light or a headlight. It was soft, warm, and seemed to pulse with a life of its own. It was a gentle, shimmering glow that didn't cast any shadows. It just was. I should have been scared. I should have run. But I wasn't. I was drawn to it. This strange, beautiful anomaly in the dreary landscape of my life. As I got closer, the light took shape. It became a figure, tall and elegant, glowing with an ethereal luminescence. It wasn't human, not exactly, but it felt familiar. It didn't speak with a voice, but I heard it, clear as day, inside my head. The words weren't English or any language I knew, but I understood them perfectly. You feel you have no future. It communicated a statement of fact, not a question. I just nodded, my throat tight. I couldn't have spoken if I'd wanted to. The figure raised a hand, its long, slender fingers radiating warmth. Your path is not empty. The voice in my head continued. It is simply waiting for you to be ready. Ready for what? I wondered. My life was a mess. How could I be ready for anything? The figure seemed to understand my silent question. Sometimes, it said, we must see the destination to find the strength for the journey. The air around us began to shimmer, the grimy brick walls of the alley dissolving into a scene I didn't recognize. It was a sun-drenched room, light pouring in through a large bay window. There were children's drawings taped to the walls. A messy pile of colorful building blocks on the floor, and the faint, sweet smell of pancakes in the air. It felt so real, so lived in. It was a home. It felt like a place where real happiness happened. In the center of the room, a little girl was sitting on the floor, completely engrossed in a picture book. She had a cascade of messy brown curls and the most serious, determined expression on her face as she traced the words with her tiny finger. She looked up as if she could sense my presence, and she smiled. And in that smile, my entire world shifted on its axis. I saw a hint of my own eyes, the same crooked grin I saw in the mirror every morning. My mother's nose, it was her, my daughter. A person who didn't exist yet, but was so real, so tangible in this vision that my heart ached. The voice of the glowing figure returned, softer this time. Her name will be Lily. She will love bedtime stories, especially the ones you make up. She will have your stubborn streak and your wife's kind heart. She is your future. I watched, mesmerized, as she laughed, a sound like tiny bells, and scrambled to her feet, running toward someone just out of frame. "Dada," she yelled, her little voice filled with pure joy, and I knew she was running to me. The vision faded, and I was back in the cold, damp alley. The glowing figure was still there, its light a little softer now. Tears were streaming down my face, but they weren't tears of sadness, they were tears of hope, a feeling I hadn't experienced in years. I saw it all so clearly. The reason to get up in the morning, the reason to fight, to build, to become someone better. It wasn't for me anymore. It was for her. It was for Lily. The figure communicated one last thought. Destiny is not a map that is given to us, but a treasure we are given the strength to find. She is your treasure. Go find her. I looked at the spot where the vision of my daughter had been, at the ordinary brick wall, and I could still almost see her. I could still hear her laugh. Then, as quickly as it had appeared, the figure dissolved into 1,000 tiny motes of light, like fireflies, which floated up into the night sky and vanished. I was alone again in the alley, but I wasn't alone anymore. Not really. I had a purpose. I had a promise to keep. The next morning, I woke up, and for the first time in a long time, the world didn't seem so grey. The sun felt warmer. The birdsong outside my window sounded like a symphony. I wasn't the same person who had walked into that alley. The old me was lost. The new me had a destination. I started small. I updated my resume. I called an old friend I'd been avoiding. I signed up for a cooking class, remembering the smell of pancakes in the vision. It was terrifying. Every step was a leap of faith. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I didn't know who Lily's mother was or where I'd meet her. I didn't know what job I would have or what city I would live in. None of that mattered. All that mattered was taking the next step, and then the one after that. The image of Lily, her messy curls and her bright, trusting eyes, became my North Star. Whenever I felt discouraged, whenever I wanted to quit and slide back into my old, comfortable misery, I would close my eyes and remember her calling out for me. Dada, it was a miracle. Not the glowing figure, not the vision of the future. The real miracle was the hope it ignited inside me. The miracle was discovering that the future wasn't something that just happened to you. It's something you build, one brave choice at a time. Life is still a journey. There are good days and bad days, but now I know where I'm going. I'm no longer drifting. I'm walking toward her. I'm building a life that will be worthy of her. That strange, impossible night in the alley saved me. It didn't give me all the answers, but it gave me the only one that mattered. A reason to hope, to try and to believe in a future I couldn't see yet. A future with sunlight and pancakes and the sound of a little girl's laughter. A future with Lily. So if you're out there feeling lost, like I was, please don't give up. Your destination might be waiting for you just around the corner in a way you could never possibly imagine. You just have to be ready to find it. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me share this with you. If this story resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had an experience that gave you hope when you needed it most. Take care and never stop looking for your own North Star.